Welcome back everyone, it's been a while. I've been meaning to post for a long time, but life just got in the way. We moved home, so sorry about that, but I'm glad to be able to do this again. As always, I have bought my trusty Brompton. So there she is. One of the great things about a Brompton is because it folds up and it's got such a small footprint, you can just stick it anywhere. So in this case, for me, the combination of a Campervan and a Brompton is fantastic. It just enables you to go anywhere. It gives you that sense of freedom. I'll just show you around quickly to show what we've got on. So I have got the diesel heater on. So we're at, what are we at? 21 degrees centigrade at the moment. So nice and toasty. And we are in an official campsite here, and they're very strict, rightly so, on their toilets arrangement. So I did have to bring a toilet with me, a chemical toilet. One of the questions you get in a small camper van like this is, how do you shower? For those of you who want to stay on and find out a bit more about that, I will set up my wash system, because if I'm going to cycle and do a bit of running, I'm going to be a bit sweaty. So tomorrow the plan is to use the Brompton and do some really nice cycling around the area to the local village, just to showcase the Brompton as well. I take this bike everywhere, and it really isn't just a commuter bike. It's practical. Just unfold it and off you go. I do have a full back rack that fits on the back, of course, if I want my mountain bikes or road bikes. But it's a bit of a faff to get those up and down. So the Brompton's always here and ready. So it's turned into my go-to bike now, even in winter, in the forest, to explore the area. It's not just for commuting. I do have to say, with a camper van, it just makes life easier, doesn't it? I think my 25-year-old self will be a bit disappointed of how soft I've become. With the Brompton, you can just slot it in anywhere. So I'm all kitted out and ready to go, and the plan for this cycle is to do a couple of hours, maybe just around the New Forest area. So there's, as well as being lots of trails for off-road cycling, there's just a lot of nice roads through villages, and traffic along here is speed limited, so it's pretty safe on the roads that cars are allowed on. I could have bought my road bike, I was thinking about that, but then I thought, you know what? I just want to potter around, and the Brompton's always in the van, so why not? So looking forward to this couple of hours cycle. So we're just leaving the campsite here. Every time I use the Brompton and we're off-road, it surprises me. It always performs better than I think it will. Can you see these roads? Potholes everywhere, sort of a compacted gravel. So no problem. So we said it before, the Brompton isn't just for commuting. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't take it true off-roading, but for these kind of paths, it's fine. Oh, look at some of these old trees here. One great thing about the New Forest is it's still got a lot of very old trees. So some parts of it, not all, but some parts of it, you feel like you're stepping back in time. So this bit's too much for the Brompton. It's just well, not even a path. But apparently down here there's an old disused railway track, so part of the something called the Sustrans, or National Cycle Network, that spans Britain. So let's see where that takes us. Right, which way to go? Haven't been on here before. That way, or that way. You know what, I'll go that way because there's a bridge. Good enough reason as any. Well, this definitely looks like it was an old railway, disused railway line. Old, looks very old. But look at this, it's grey, it's overcast, 4 degrees, but when you're out cycling, you still enjoy it. It's still better being out than being in. The hardest part's just getting out of the door, but it's lovely. I love cycling. I don't think there's been once when I've been on my bike and I thought this was a bad idea. Definitely worth coming on this. So let's see where this goes. I suppose the one thing about disused train lines is they're very straight. So hopefully we'll be able to see something interesting. Whoa, mud. Come on, Brompton, you can do it. Through the mud. But it's great they have used these tracks and, you know, repurposed them for cyclists and for walking. You know, it's easy not to do that, so always appreciate that that's been done. Because there's an off-road, no traffic. It's really good. Here we go. See a number of these paths that are all over the New Forest. They just go into the yonder, so you can just take your bike and go along there. So that's great. And all this scenery, it's got a very peculiar characteristic in the New Forest. I've not seen it anywhere else. It's that mix between heath, heather, forested areas. Part of that is because it's so heavily grazed. Gridlock ahead. Random horse or pony in the road. Feels like you step back in time. Hello, horse. Nice and slow. Don't want to get kicked by that. But he looks healthy. So I think I mentioned in one of my other videos, people here have the right to graze animals. Hi. Oh, some fellow cyclists coming up. Don't know what this is about. Wow, there's a few of them. Why does it always make you smile when you see people on bikes? Just parked up here for a second along the trail. Well done, Brompton. I know this isn't your natural terrain, but you're doing well. See, one thing about southern England is that it's a very crowded place. And the New Forest really provides a really big open space where you've got the right to the roam. So I don't know whether this is coming through, but you can walk for miles. And because this is open access land, you can take your bikes, your trail bikes, you know, pretty much anywhere. You've got to be respectful about certain times of the year when birds are nesting and things like this. But really, all this is yours. So yeah, probably not the best thing to do on a Brompton, but certainly if you come round down here with your trail bike or mountain bike, you can have some real fun. And there are times, if you come at the right time of the year, where you know you feel like you're on your own and all this space is yours. So that's part of the reason why I keep coming back here as well. So a bit of peace in a crowded land. Let's carry on, Brompton. Well, it looks like horses like these trails too. See if I can sneak around this one. Hello, horse. Be nice. Ooh. She looks pregnant. Some people think there are too many horses in this area, or too many livestock. Causes a lot of damage, overgrazed areas, but have a look at my last video. I think the last New Forest outing, I went into that in a bit more detail. It's getting a bit more sketchy here. So it looks like we're coming up on some civilization. I've just been told by Google that we're on still on National Cycle Trail 2 if anyone's interested in following this trail in the New Forest. There we go, you can see it. There's one of the signs there. So these are national trails that run all over the UK, and they're great. So you can plan your journey. A lot of it's off-road or on quieter roads. And in the forest. So where to go now? All right, you know what? I'm gonna go left. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, the Brompton's definitely not designed for this. Getting close to the limit now. It's the mud and small high pressure wheels, but it's doing it. Well, it's just opened up into this heathland now, so I think I'm still on the right track. It's a bit heavier going here because the gravel's quite thick, but no one here, just me. Ah, it's so nice. Miles of open space and no people. I've mentioned this before, but I'm over 50 now, and I'm very grateful for what biking's done to me, or for me. It's, you know, kept me in decent shape so that I can still do all the things that I want to do in life. You know, I'm pretty lucky. I've not got any injuries, serious injuries or anything like that. And you know, when I've mixed it in, or when you mix it in with running, I've never been a natural runner, but forced myself to do it with running and some weight training. It just gives you the best chance of being able to do the things you want to do for as long as possible, and biking is a really important part of that, or at least it has been for me. Little squirrel. I felt an urge to put on a David Attenborough voice. Whoa, too close, too close. One of the other great things about cycling is that anyone can do it. You know, running. You know, I force myself to run, but I'm not a natural. I find running hard, but I have to do it. But if you had a long layoff, you know, cycling is a really good way to build up some of that base fitness. So I don't know, maybe you're carrying a few extra pounds or you don't have the confidence to do it. You know, most people can still cycle a few miles on a bike, and that is so good just to get you started and to build up that confidence. So if for whatever reason I've had a really long layoff, yeah, climbing on the bike is the first thing to do. And that's why the Brompton can be so good. You can just take it anywhere with you. So you know, there's been a few times where I've just been in the car but the Brompton's in the back, or the Campervan, and you just decide that you want to cycle, and you can just unfold it and zip off. And you know, you don't have to forward plan as much as you might do with other full-size bikes. So once again, thank you, Brompton. So back at the campsite, there she is, tucked away, home sweet home. Fingers are numb. Why didn't you bring gloves? You know, just occasionally, it's nice being on your own.
Absolutely saying that any people dictate the Mediterranean for the first times in the Soviet times, so now they have the whole foothold.
So one of the questions I get asked a lot is, how do you shower in such a small space? So if you like doing outdoors stuff or activities, you know, you get sweaty pretty quickly. Yeah, it's no fun going to bed. Well, I'm not the type of person anyway, can go to bed for, you know, feeling all sweaty and for nights and weeks on end. I don't like it. So I do like to have some kind of shower system in the van. So another thing I really like about the T25, or this T25, or Vanagon, or T3, is the space. So I don't know whether you can see this. Let me prop this down here. You almost have this living room space here, because the passenger seats are right over the wheel. It opens up all this space, so you've actually got almost a living room in here. Even if I stretch my legs out, there's loads of space there, and I can take advantage of that space. I just happen to have it here, so this is it. My shower system is in this bag. Let's open it up, see what we've got. So yeah, have to excuse the pattern on there. So all it is a bathtub design. So these are the support plastic rim that goes around the tub. I've got a bladder, so this holds 2.5 litres of water. So heat it up in the kettle or your stove just to the right temperature, or put some boiling water in, then dilute it with cold water. And 2.5 litres is more than enough to give you sort of a NASA style shower. So this can be hung up here like that, and hey presto, that is your shower delivery, water delivery system. And here is the bathtub. So we've got a bathtub big enough so that you can actually sit in it. Yeah, sorry about this start, that's the only one they had. So I found this on Amazon. The styling's not the best. Instead of me jabbering on, why don't I just set it up so that you can see what it looks like. So I've got all this space here down here. I haven't set this up for a long time, so I don't even know if I can remember. see how it goes. Yeah. So this is like, this tub opens up. It's actually pretty thick. It's insulated, and this catches all the water that would come down. So the tricky bit is sticking these poles in. So the poles are joined together with these small sort of clips. So you can see that one goes in there, one goes in here, and it's pretty simple. And then it's fed through the top. It's just like putting up a tent. There you go. You have got a space big enough to sit in. There's a drain plug down there. Make sure that's closed, and it's pretty rigid. So even with this up, you've got a lot of space around here. So that catches the water. So I've probably banged on about this, but one thing I like about this particular van is it's got standing room. Let me stand up. And so that bag hangs up here. Now 2 litres is enough that with the drain plug you can empty it down the sink pretty easily, and also it's small enough and compact enough that you can just dry it off with a towel. You can roll it up and it's dry, which stops mould. So it's attached up there. You've got your 2.5 litres of warm water, which then you can sit in there and shower yourself, and that's more than enough. And the good thing about this is it doesn't matter what the temperature is outside. You've got the heater going. You don't care if it's raining, it's wet, it's windy, which it usually is in the UK in winter. So this is great. So it works. Not as good, obviously not as good as having a shower at home, but you know, if you haven't got any facilities and you want a shower in warm, then this is the way to go. It's better going to bed clean than it is going to bed dirty. Let me just give you another angle here. That's how it's hooked. Then it goes down into the basket. So the other thing I've got is one of these cheap sit mats. So that just goes in there as well if you need it, if you want to sit on something. So I just thought I'd show the setup with the stool in. It's just got a couple of pads at the bottom there so it doesn't break through the plastic, and a cheap seat and a cheap foam mat there. So you can sit on that in comfort, wash yourself down, and you're good to go. I don't think any of you have got an urge to see a naked middle-aged man take a shower, so I'll just hop in here, give you a demonstration instead. So there you go. So you can either put a seat in here or you can squat down or sit, and there's enough room just to wipe your hair, wash your hair. Washing strategy is NASA style. So you wet yourself, then you lather yourself up, and then you rinse yourself off. And like I said, 2.5 litres is more than enough if you're careful to get yourself nice and clean. And then when you've finished, that's 2.5 litres is, you can deal with that amount of water, which can go down the sink, or if it's appropriate to empty outside. So there's no worry about huge amounts of water everywhere. I forgot my rubber duck. I'll stop there, I think, because I'm going to do it for real, and I don't think anyone wants to see that. So I think that's it for this one. Thanks for coming along. I really appreciate that you take the time out to watch these videos, and also a big thanks to the van as well that enables me to get to places like this in comfort, and the Brompton. Thank you, Brompton. Not just for commuting. So hopefully don't forget to press the subscribe button if you do like these. It's a big motivation to carry on, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.